Bam, 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 bam. Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Bam, 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 bam. Let's get this started. Chapter 14. So the next morning, Dorian wakes from a very restful sleep, and once the events of the previous night have actually went back into his mind, he's like, what am I gonna do? And then he actually decides to do this. He decides to go visit an old friend of his. Like, first of all, when he met this little scientist, they were friends, and first of all, they were inseparable until something happened that Oscar Wilde doesn't say, and they got separated and never talked to each other again, up until Dorian visited. And after breakfast, he actually sends out Alan Campbell, his servant for Alan Campbell, a young scientist or former friend who he has grown very distant from. And while waiting for Campbell to arrive, Dorian passes the time by reading a book of poems and poetry. A poem of poetry, and a lot of things have happened. And Dorian then wonders if Campbell will come, and is relieved when the servant announced his arrival. And Campbell has actually come reluctantly, having been summoned by the matter of life and death. And Dorian confesses that there is a dead man locked in the uppermost room in his house, and though he refrains from discussing the circumstances of the man's death, he asks Campbell to use his knowledge of chemistry to destroy the body, to dispose of it. So, like, turn it into nothing but a few molecules. Campbell reiterates, and he asks Campbell, Campbell refuses that he has no interest in becoming involved, and Dorian blackmails Campbell after confessing that he was the one who murdered him, threatening to reveal a secret that would bring great disgrace to him. And then Campbell agrees to dispose of the body and to send a servant to his home for the necessary equipment. And Dorian goes upstairs to cover the portrait and notices that one of the hands on the painting is dripping with red, as though the canvas had sweated blood. And then Campbell works until evening, then leaves. He says that they should never talk to each other again. And when Dorian arrives and comes back to the room, the body's gone, and the odor of nitric acid just fills the room, meaning that Campbell did his job. He dissolved the body. Yeah, that was nice. And I'm not really sure how this actually goes on, but then scientists being blackmailed for what secret? This curiosity intrigues us and keeps us reading until we realize we're never gonna learn it. Although I've read this part and I was like, what's gonna happen, and realize it's never gonna be shown. It's like, oh my god, I was so disappointed. If Oscar Wilde actually put in that little secret, I guess we would have been really happy. But then again, some of the editors actually destroyed some of the lines, and then Oscar Wilde had to add in 6 more additional chapters to actually make the full plot. So we're reading the second edition version here, so I'm not really surprised. And that is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you guys soon. Shine out. Peace. Booyah!